So, all right. All this happening, I'll be honest, it's gotten to me. And I've been incredibly stressed out recently. And I don't think it's come through necessarily in the gameplay. Everyone's saying who's watching the gameplay is saying, wow, the gameplay is great. The problem is, I'm doing daily updates, and during the daily updates, I'm sitting there and bitching about views for 20 minutes, and I'm bringing up how I'm different from other YouTubers, and basically I'm beating around the bush with shit that people really don't care about, right? Like, I know that I'm different from other YouTubers. I know that. And I know that I've been successful for 7 years being a lot different than what a lot of other YouTubers do. I know that. But it doesn't mean that I'm better or worse than them. Right? And that's not really what I was trying to say. But the problem was I was so just stressed and full of negativity from everything that was going on around me that it came across that way. And I, listening back to the videos from those couple days this week, I agree. It seems to me like it's just me being bitter and bitching that no one wants to watch my videos, and that I'm in a rut right now and I'm upset about it. And how dare people not watch my content? And really, that's how it comes across. Even though that's not the intention that I really had when I was saying those things, I listened to it back and I'm like, damn, that is exactly how it sounds. And I started reading all the comments and everyone's like, listen, we're with you. We want you to succeed. But obviously, if this is a big issue, if you're having a low like this and this is really bad for you, you need to find a way to fix that. And people give me suggestions, and people are saying be less negative, stop calling out other people, stop doing all this. And I'm reading all this, and it really hit me, I'd say last night, really. It just kind of all came into, imagine if you had a million pieces of a puzzle around you, okay? And they're all spread out, and you know what the puzzle's supposed to be, but it's not until you finally put it together and you see it all as a whole that you're like, ding, the light bulb goes off, right? And that's kind of what happened to me last night. I'm reading through everything, and I'm frustrated, and at first I'm even being like belligerent like I used to be. Remember whenever someone said something about me that I should do something differently, or I should do this better, or this is what I did wrong, and this is maybe why people are turned off. I get so belligerent about it and argue and say, no, I'm perfect, I'm right. And then finally, ding, the light bulb went off, and I said, why am I being like that again? Like, I stopped being like that years ago. 2 years ago, I would say, back in around 2013, I started being a lot more open-minded. I started listening more to my viewers and my fans, and ultimately, even though I'm not at the level I used to be at with popularity, I like doing this job a lot better today than I used to. I don't feel it's as much of a grind as it used to be. I'm not rushing through games. I feel I'm doing more worthwhile gameplay, and ultimately I like what I'm doing more now, and I value it more than what I was putting out. I think the videos I was putting out in 2012 were shit. I'll be honest. I think I was rushing through most of the games I played in 2012. I agree. That's what everyone was saying. Phil, you're rushing through every game within 2-3 days, so you get to the next one. You miss all the side content. You miss everything. And I agree. I absolutely agree. Okay? So, all that happens, and then last night I realized this, and I'm like, damn, I fucked up. I should not have let the stress get to me the way that it did. And certainly, even if the stress is affecting me, right? Okay, but don't let it come through. It certainly didn't come through, at least from what people are saying in the gameplay, so that's good. But it seemed to seep through into other things, like the daily updates and tweets that I was sending out and stuff like that. And I apologize. After, in retrospect, looking at all the stuff that's happened this past couple of weeks and how I reacted earlier this week, I apologize. I should not have reacted like that. There's no reason, because of low views, because of false copyright strikes, because of the stress levels of all this shit going on around me, my toilet breaking or whatever the fuck, right? Doesn't mean that I should take it out on the viewing audience that have put me here. You're the reason why I'm sitting here on this love seat right now in a new house in Seattle, Washington. You're the reason why I can pay my bills. You're the reason why I can continue to make fun vlogs and I can continue to play games on a daily basis as my job. You! Yes, I'm the one who's doing it, but you're the one who's watching. You're as much of an important and integral part of this as I am. And I don't know what, well, I do. Like I said, I do know what happened. I got so stressed out. I was just like, I gotta bitch and I gotta moan, I gotta scream, there's gotta be blame, there's gotta be... Let me tell you something. I know where I get it from. It's my mother. My mother... I know some people are going to say, what? My mother is the kind of person, all right. My mother is the kind of person, there always has to be someone to blame. And it's never her, by the way. My mom's always immune. No, she never has to say sorry or whatever. She never did anything wrong in her life, according to her. But there always has to be someone to blame. So, it's not that it's just a situation or it's just there's always got to be one particular culprit and thing, and I don't think that's the situation here. I think it's a unique combination of the fact that the games that I played in September were longer games, and people weren't going to stick around for a 100-part playthrough of those games. They weren't necessarily games that lent themselves to extended viewership. You know, look at the playthroughs that did get a great extended viewership. There was a lot of stuff developing in those games all the time versus Metal Gear Solid 5, which was 900 sneaking missions with a few good story missions mixed in there. You know what I mean? And, you know, for me, right, I have to realize that. I have to say, even though there's reasons that it's not your fault. No, it's not the viewer's fault. If you watched one or two videos of Metal Gear Solid 5, excuse me, and you said, wow, okay, great, but I don't want to watch the whole thing. Why should I take that out on you? You know what I mean? Seriously, I shouldn't take it out on anyone. It's just, I wish I had a vent. I wish I had something to take it out on. And it's like I said, it used to be the gaming. When I had all these frustrations in real life, I would game, and the game would relax me. Now it's like, frustrations in real life, now it's time to game, now no one's watching, so now my business is tanking while all this shit is going on in my real life too, and it frustrated the shit out of me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you to those of you who are understanding. Thank you to those of you who, regardless of the fact that maybe the past couple of days, it seemed like I was being really nasty and I was being kind of angry and even maybe taking offense or going on the offensive against viewers and everyone, right? That was not my intention. And ultimately, I was, like I said, I absorbed all of the stuff from around me these past few days, all the feedback that I've gotten and whatever, I absorbed it all. And ultimately, this is what I was told. Okay, transparency is one thing, but we don't need to hear it every day, and we certainly don't need to hear it constantly about views. And someone gave me a good analogy. They said, imagine if you had a favorite restaurant, and you used to go there all the time, but now you don't go there as much for whatever reason. Maybe you just don't have enough money for the food anymore, or for whatever reason, maybe you're eating healthier. I don't know. And so every time you go to the restaurant, now you hear from the manager who knows you and is your friend. He walks up to you, but he complains, man, business is slow. Less people are coming here. I don't understand what it is. People aren't telling me what I did wrong, and my food's great, and I'm going to go out of business. Eventually, if you hear that enough, you're not going to come back either, because you don't want to hear that shit. You're here for a good meal. You're here for a good time. And that is probably, when I read that comment for someone, I was like, that's the best fucking thing I've ever read. Seriously, he's absolutely right. People don't come to watch my videos to hear about the negative shit. They want to hear about how good this game was or how bad this game was. They want to hear about fun times. They're here to have a good time. Why do you need to come here to share my shit, right? My shit is bad enough that I have to deal with it. You don't want to fucking deal with it either. Now, not to say that when something happens like this false copyright strike and I lose my streaming capability, okay, then it's okay for me to share that information because I have to, because you have to know why I'm not live streaming, right? But why am I doing this on a daily basis? And seriously, I'm just like, I realize it's funny. It's like night and day. Like, I saw the light, but I just feel bad because I know that there's probably a couple hundred people who've been watching the daily updates from the past few days and watched them and got turned off, so fuck Phil, you know. But there's people also on the flip side of that, right? People on the flip side of that will say, well, Phil's a human, and we've seen him change and evolve over the years, and we've seen him go through lots of shit, and he perseveres, and so we're still going to be here, regardless if we went off the rails or whatever for a couple days there. You know, we support him and we'll come back. So thank you, that's you. You know what I mean? Thank you. And, you know, you're the ones, you guys who understand, and let me say guys and gals, who understand me, who understand the shit that I go through, the stress and everything. You understand that it balls up and it becomes a big mound, and then sometimes it explodes or comes out in a way that I don't intend, and that's exactly what happened this past week. And so I am pretty upset with myself that I allowed myself to vent and say those things that I said. Of course, there's other things too. People are like, Phil's always insulting other YouTubers and other streamers, yada, yada, yada. I'm not really. All I'm doing is I'm explaining to people why I'm different from them, why I strive to be different, because I want to be different. I don't want to be the YouTuber who makes false playthroughs. I like that my playthroughs are genuine. You actually watch my gameplay content, and this is what the game would be like if you were playing it, okay? It's not some highly edited, cut out the boring parts just to get to the funny parts, montage, or a screaming at the camera, scaredy cat, you know, horror playthrough just for laughs, because you're laughing at a train wreck. That's really what it is. Those videos, you're laughing at train wrecks. And not to say that I'm not a train wreck, I am, absolutely. A lot of the times these games that I play, I suck at them and I'm a train wreck, but it's not just about that. It's about all the other stuff around it too, the full gameplay experience. How many reviewers, let me propose this. How many reviewers right now who are well known for game reviews, okay, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch, whether it's at a real media, major gaming media like IGN, GameSpot, can they review a game, give it a review with all these points, a number score, but then you can reference their full playthrough from start to finish of the game that supports it, right? How many people have that? Very few, I would think. Anyone at least who has notoriety and is known on the internet for doing that, right? I'm one of the few who still does it. I have that full, beginning to end, from the moment that I booted the game to the moment the credits ended and I turned it off. Here's my experience that you can either view in full, or you can watch a little bit of it, or you can watch my review. You know, you've got all these options. And I pride myself on being that. And I'm not saying that that's better, worse. It's different. It's something different. And that's what I like doing. I like being the genuine gamer. I like to think I'm the genuine guy who's not doing this just to make a comedy montage and get laughs and views. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I want to give you a genuine experience of what it's like to play a game from start to finish, right? But the thing is, I don't really call other people out. It's funny because people say, oh, Phil calls all these people, insults them. What name did I even mention? No one, you know? But I guess even doing generalized, people apparently associate what I say with other people who maybe they watch, and then they immediately make that association and think that I'm insulting that person. The bottom line is I don't have time to sit there and watch other YouTubers' videos and watch Twitch streams. I know what's going on because people tell me constantly. That's how I know. I'm not sitting there watching their stuff, but people tell me constantly what's out there, and I base my content to be different than that. All right? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happened the past few days. And I apologize that I did get negative. What I'm going to do, what I'm going to strive to do, is what I've done many times in my career. I'm going to try to stay positive. Daily, we're going to focus on the games. We're going to focus on fun stuff. I'm going to share with you the fun experiences, the cool stuff that's happening, not the negative shit. You don't need to hear every little nitpicky negative thing that happens unless it may be entertaining or different or weird, okay? But no, I'm not going to be mentioning every day, man, views are low, and man, this and that. But understand that going hand in hand with that there have to be changes made to hopefully improve things. And so what I want to get into now are some changes that I've already instituted and changes that I want to institute coming up. I want to introduce them for the very first time here on tonight's podcast. I want to get your opinions. So let me know whether it's on the comments of this video, in an email to darksidephil@hotmail.com. If you tweet me, that's not the tweet. If you tweet me at they call me DSP, whatever it may be, whatever avenue, let me know what you think about what I'm about to propose. All right. So number one, big change. Not constantly streaming anymore. Not to say that I won't live stream ever.